it's time for your Gianna Volpe report, brought to you by author Celine Keating, by the Crazy Fork on the Main Road in Mattatuck, and by Village Overhead Door in Southwold.
So excited for tonight, the March edition of the Revolution number 9 Variety Series.
Sounds like an old album.
Celine Keating will be there, alongside Susan Dingle of Poetry Street at the Blue Duck Bakery Café here in Riverhead, and Maggie Bloomfield, among the incredible talent that will be there for free tonight, 7 to 11. Celine will also be reading from her novel Play For Me at the Union Square Barnes & Noble in New York City on March 31st at 6:30. Good morning, Bruce. How are you?
I'm well. Does Lisa Dabrowski ever play her guitar?
She's going to be making her premiere tonight.
Really?
Yes.
Because Lisa and I go back a long ways.
I adore her. She came to Mano to visit me on Sunday.
Really, she's a very nice person. Very talented.
She really is.
Very talented. You need somebody to play the guitar, call Lisa. You need someone to impersonate Mae West or Marilyn Monroe, call Lisa.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
And if you need someone to, like, you know...
Wait, when I'm good,
That was Mae West's. When I'm good, I'm good. And when I'm bad, I'm even better.
I'm better.
I'm even better. Yep.
That's right.
That's Mae West. Anyway.
And this morning we have... what?
And and she got me to go on a ride at the Polishtown Fair. I hate going on rides.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
How did she do that?
Well, she kind of shamed me into it. I mean, for years I've been ducking her.
Chicken?
Huh?
She said, bark, 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 bark,
sort of, kind of, yeah. Yeah. You know.
Very nice. Good.
And I kept
good on
evading
you,
her, but then I ran out of ways to evade her. Anyway.
So I'm really excited. We have the educational director of the Ecological Culture Initiative, Marc Fasanella. Good morning, Marc.
Good morning.
You just left about 8 years at Stonybrook, 2 years at Stonybrook Southampton as an ecological art and design professor.
That's correct.
Why would you do such a thing?
Well, I had lived in Hampton Bays for more than half my life, and I've raised 2 kids there, and I was teaching all these principles about how we can make communities that are regenerative, so communities that aren't just consumptive, that the economy and the culture is based on making it a healthier place to live.
It's almost a bad word, sustainable.
Yes, yeah. So I was teaching in a sustainability program and teaching all these concepts that were kind of beyond what was happening in the normal urban planning courses. And then I was giving lectures in Hampton Bays for the Civic Association. And the audience response was fantastic. People were coming up to me afterwards and saying, what can we do to make this happen in Hampton Bays? So I had 2 fantastic people join me. I had a group of interns over the summer who worked with me. I started a nonprofit called the Ecological Culture Initiative, and I had some great interns that kind of helped me build the organization, get a website up, and then 2 fantastic people joined me, Jeff Schultz, the digital media director, and Rachel Stevens.
Last night.
Yep, the agroecology director.
Rachel.
And we've been working almost full-time since then, and once again, the response has been fantastic.
Talk a little bit about the seed library. This is something that you guys unveiled at the Hampton Bays Library last night. What an amazing thing for having been raised by an environmentalist myself, I understand, first of all, what incredible work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
For the community and for the people, and also what incredible challenge you're over, you have to surmount. It's so easy for people to sort of, just laissez-faire, just let things go. And the few that stand up and say, I want to actually make a change, and then follow through, what a rare thing and an incredible thing. The seed library is so cool.
It really is. It's the perfect place to really start having a public face. So Rachel Stevens had wanted to do this. She has a small farm in Hampton Bays called Sweetwood Land Farm, and she had always thought it would be good to have a seed library. There are other seed libraries around the country. And a seed library is a place where you can go and get free, non-GMO, organic, heirloom, open-pollinated seeds. In other words, there isn't some horticulturalist who's trying to modify that seed to make it something that's always going to produce the same exact tomato. They're seeds that are open-pollinated, so they change a little bit over time, and they develop characteristics that relate to that area.
So why is it so important for us to maintain the genetic integrity of our seeds?
So over 94% of the food seed stock that has gone extinct over the last century. So we still have a lot of seeds available, a lot of foodstuffs available, but there were far more in the past. But what's happened, if you think about our diet, if you go into the grocery store, there's a tremendous amount of variety. But if you go back 50 years, if you would travel to France, if you would travel to Africa, if you would have seen foods that that were not seen anywhere else on the planet. So what's happened is, even though there's a lot of food available, it's kind of become homogenized. So if you go to Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, you're going to say the same things you're going to see.
The one thing that sort of frightened me a little bit, and just about the fact that genetically modified crops cross-pollinate, and that they're going on to they're cross-pollinating to other farms and taking them out and actually changing the genetic structure of the seeds. I'm wondering, does that sort of open us up for another sort of potato blight?
It does, and that's one of the concerns. I mean, of course, Monsanto has all kinds of biological and chemical engineers trying to constantly battle the diseases, because the more you make something that's a super product resistant, the more the ecology evolves to deal with that. So just like they talk about superbugs in a hospital, the same thing is happening. Right. So that's one of the really important things about preserving seed biodiversity. So we showed a film called Seed in January and sold out the Hampton Bays movie theater. And we're going to show it. I want to see
that. So you're doing it again?
Yeah, we're going to show it on April 18th, and it kind of explains why we need to preserve the seed biodiversity, and it's a very positive film, and shows you the people who are doing this work. So it's April 18th. If you go to our website, eciny.org, you'll see an image for it, and you can just click on that image, and it takes you to a link where you have to purchase a ticket. We have to sell 50 tickets in the next 20 days, so please. How
much are they?
They're $11, so it's $12.70 with the tax on it, and then we're offering a farm to table dinner with it. So for another $25, you get a dinner down the street at Orlando's Café.
Oh, I'm going, and I'm going to take Abra from Feisty Acres. Okay, so April 18th, go to eciny.org and get your tickets, and then Orlando's Café, right?
Correct.
Down in Hampton Bays, which is sort of the epicenter of this, the plans that you sort of unraveled after talking about the seed library are huge. Talk a little bit about what you talked with the town board in Southampton.
So I was teaching these courses where I'm showing people communities around the world, in Netherlands and different places. There's some great work being done in Staten Island as well, and New York City.
I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, the Staten Island Bluebelt is a fantastic project, and then this landscape architect or landscape ecologist, Kate Orff, who teaches at Columbia and has a company called SCAPE. She's doing fantastic work at Staten Island, both for shoreline resiliency to protect the shoreline, but also the Bluebelt, which is not her project, is a whole project that came out of city councils responding to the damage caused by Hurricane Sandy to daylight streams and wetlands, actually pull up housing, pull up asphalt, and allow places for the water to go, natural systems.
Which is crazy because my dad's thesis, master's thesis, was on deurbanization and how difficult a thing this is, and that sounds like deurbanization right there, where they actually took out almost like a whole city block and have replaced it with an emerging wetland almost.
Yes, exactly.
With the winding creeks and everything.
And then while I was teaching all these principles to my students, I was part of the Hampton Bays Civic Association, and I was giving lectures about the kind of thing that was happening there and that we could be doing in Southampton Township. But then looking at it, I have this fantastic ecological planner working with me, who's a student at Stonybrook in environmental design, policy, and planning. And we were looking at it, we realized we have assets in Hampton Bays.
Is that RJ?
RJ
Theofield. What a talent.
Yeah, he's an amazing young man. So we have these assets that you don't see anywhere else. You can get off the train in Hampton Bays, and within 5 minutes, you're at a grocery store, a movie theater, the schools, all three schools, the post office, the library. I mean, everything's right there, community center.
Right.
As well as you can start walking on a trail in Good Ground Park, the new Good Ground Park. That'll take you to 15,000 acres just in Hampton Bays of preserved pine barrens. So that was something that we looked at. And then you're surrounded by water, and you have an ocean beach. If you go 5 minutes south, you're at an ocean beach with no houses on it. That's a park. If you go 5 minutes north, you enter an old Girl Scout camp, Squiretown Park. So looking at all those resources, we realized we could make Hampton Bays a place where people could come and study regenerative design, and they could study the ecosystem at the level that they just have to travel a few minutes within,
right outside the city.
Right.
And I thought it was really interesting. Over 900 properties that you guys identified as
there are properties that are over an acre that have enough property they could qualify for an easement. Which means they
the
could
conservation easement, which I thought was an interesting idea. Private landowners sort of making an agreement to allow go ahead.
Right, they actually would get paid. They can get a buyout of the development rights on that land, and then they also get tax abatement. So they pay lower taxes, and they can get cash up front. And that's just to make sure that the land doesn't get clear cut or a house doesn't get put on that land. So it will preserve the biodiversity and preserve the character of Hampton Bays. So that's one of the things that we want to work with.
Before the developers come in.
Well, the developers, they're coming. I mean, these lots are being sold every day. The development has slowed a little bit, but that pressure is there, and the danger is because we already have a crisis in our waterways in Hampton Bays, and we're worrying about our aquifer, our drinking water, which is underneath much of that land. That's why we think it's important to do that, and then create an educational program that's teaching students how to bring these ideas back to their communities, because by 2050, 90% of the human race will be urban. And most of those urban communities are urban. It doesn't mean a big city. It means that there's more than 60% of the surface area is paved or is roofs or is so these people can come study in Hampton Bays these principles because the ecosystem is ripe to do it, and then take those ideas back to their communities.
As long as we save what's left. And you're talking about Squiretown Park and about Camp
Tekawitha, yeah. So the town made a very generous offer. We gave this presentation to them last week, and they made a very generous offer to work with us on ECI taking over stewardship of the old camp directors or caretaker's house that's at the corner of the property.
Right.
It's been abandoned for 10 years. It's boarded up. So I haven't seen the inside of it, so I don't know what the condition of the inside is.
Wow, you're so brave. You're like, because it's a great property, and I thought it was very cool. The mess hall, slated for demolition. That you're saying, they don't think it's savable, but I do. That's another rare.
It's another tremendous opportunity. It's a beautiful building. It's a big dining hall. You can really see that being a lodge, used as an educational lodge, and
I liked the design that you were looking at with Dartmouth.
Yes, they have a fantastic educational lodge that's post and beam construction. That's the kind of thing that we want to bring and restore those. So the motto we use is restore the best practices of the past and advance the most regenerative principles of the future. So that's what you can do there. Is there's tons of buildings being taken down all the time with beautiful reclaimed wood that we can use in projects like that.
So what do you need to do in order to get that to happen?
Well, in the camp director's house that the town wants to work with us on, what we want to do is remodel it so it becomes a model home, so that people can see what blue jean insulation is like, because you're not going to find that in Home Depot.
Right.
So we can have it there to show people and then tell them where they can get that, what a proper rainwater collection system looks like, and what kind of roofing system you would use for that. Right now, there's a real problem because people are putting too many solar panels on their roof. It's not very thoughtful because the companies that are installing solar panels, of course, are trying to make the most profit they can.
Right.
But really, you don't necessarily need that many solar panels. You don't necessarily need to cut down all the trees.
The building of that size, it had like maybe 4.
Right, because in that case, you're not looking to sell electricity back. You're just looking to have enough that would sustain what you need.
Well, we've got to wrap up. I'm very excited. I'd love to have you back, Marc Fasanella from the Ecological Culture Initiative. Pardon me. We'll be back with Gary Sellers after the break. In the meantime, go to eciny.org. Get your tickets to go see Seed April 18th at the Hampton Bays Movie Theater. Thank you very much, Marc.
Thank you.
The Crazy Fork on the main road in Mattituck is the place for entertainment on the North Fork. From live comedy to music to the Revolution No. 9 variety shows, you'll have a good time. The Crazy Fork is comfy but classy, and the food is good. Whether you're looking for fish tacos or lobster mac and cheese, or a steak or seafood, you'll love the Crazy Fork. The Crazy Fork also serves homemade pizza and a sandwich for every taste. So don't stay home tonight. Come on out. Have some fun at the place for entertainment on the North Fork. The Crazy Fork. The Crazy Fork on the main road in Mattituck. Call 631-298-1100 for the Crazy Fork in Mattituck.
An overhead door serves a purpose, and it should be as beautiful as the rest of your home or building. For more than 30 years, Village Overhead Doors has been creating and installing beautiful garage doors for contractors and homeowners on the North and South Forks. They also install automatic garage door openers that open with the click of a remote, so there's no getting out of the car in bad weather. For a wide range of styles, from lifetime steel doors to custom-made wood doors, and for all your garage door needs, please